There was a time when people used to say a piece of paper cannot decide my future. I think that time is here. I got a job as an assistant professor at University of Toronto. And if anything, if you tell my teachers in India that I am teaching right now, they'll be shocked and probably they won't believe you.
I'm going to learn a lot from this episode. Why did you choose marketing as your profession?
It's a little long story. Should I get into all the details?
Oh, yeah.
I really had no plans of getting into marketing as such. And just like a lot of people out there, for a very long time in my life, I was very clueless about what I really have to do. And I honestly don't think I still know where I'm headed in life and what is it that I finally want to do. It's just that it turns out that I'm a little good at marketing. And I found that out after being bad at a lot of other things. So my sister was a very good engineer and she scored very well in all her exams and she was excelling in her life. And so from there came the notion that maybe I should try towards engineering as well. And I got into engineering, did my IT undergrad for 4 years, just to find out that I was very bad at it. I could barely get any good grades. I barely passed. And my parents were almost on the edge of losing all the hope that probably I won't make anything of myself in this life. And that's when I decided to get out in the field a little, see what other options do I have. And marketing came to me as a survival instinct. That because I'm not good at IT, but I have a little creative mindset. What is it that I can get into immediately so that I can start earning a little and then just put my foot in the industry as well? And after exploring a lot of different fields out there, marketing came in front of me and I said, sure, let's give it a shot. Tried it for a couple of years. Turns out I'm good at it. And that's when I decided, fine, until I figure out what is it that I really want to do in life. I have found something that I'm happy doing it and I'm good at it. Let's get into marketing. So that's how I decided to get into marketing.
That's actually good that you realized it earlier that, IT was not your field. Because what we see over here is people still keep pushing themselves to do something just because they want to fill somebody's expectation. So that's good that you realized. And now you are a professor. How did you come about getting this job?
Yes. So I came to Canada in 2019. I was a student till 2021. And I was working in my field throughout this time as well. I worked in India too for a couple of years. Then as a student too, I was working within digital marketing. And to answer this, that how I got into the profession of teaching, I think it was an accident. There was no such plan to become a professor. And if anything, if you tell my teachers in India that I am teaching right now, they'll be shocked and probably they won't believe you. Because, I was apparently one of the most notorious kids back in my undergrad, in my schooling. But one day I was just sitting and I think this is one good habit that I have, that even though I find even though I have a stable job, 9 to 5, I don't stop looking on LinkedIn that what are the other things that are out right now. Is there a new role that's coming up? Are companies looking for other skills now that I have to learn and upskill myself? So I always keep an eye out for that are job descriptions changing? Are the requirements changing? And while I was doing that, accidentally, I just saw a job opportunity in University of Toronto. I applied on it and I had no hopes that I'll get a call back. I just applied out of curiosity and just to see if my resume is good enough. I think at that point of time, I was just testing my resume. I think I just tested the waters a little, kept a little hope, and somebody in the world, I think, decided to bless me in that moment, and everything turned out for the good, and I got a call back. So that accident happened, and I landed an interview with the University of Toronto. Put in a little bit of hard work, and again, whoever was blessing me at that point of time, that blessing continued, and I was able to crack the interviews. And I got a job as an assistant professor at University of Toronto. So that was how I entered the teaching world. And while I was doing that, I noticed that there was an opening at York University after, I think, about a year that I noticed that. And because I was an alumni from York, and my heart, I think, in that moment told me that, okay, this is your chance to complete that 360 circle that you studied here. This is your moment. You can go back and teach there now, and it will be a full circle now. Give it a shot. Try for it. So I just reached out to the university, applied, and then I also talked to my teachers who were teaching me at that point of time, talked to my program head in 2019, and everything turned out for good, and they hired me. And that's when I landed as a professor at York. And then I think Conestoga liked my work a little too, and then I ended up teaching at Conestoga too. So right now I'm teaching at York University as well as Conestoga College.
That's incredible, because when I moved over here, it took so much time for me to land into a job, and 100% my resume might not be as good to the point, even though I try so much. Then I think that probably I don't have references. That's why I'm not getting the job. But you kind of answer my question that I have for you. But still, do you think reference plays a heavy role when you are looking for a job in Canada?
See, reference plays an important role, but it plays that role only up to an extent.
Right.
Reference can get you an interview, but cracking the interview is still your responsibility. And that's where a lot of candidates don't really excel. And I think the mistake that a lot of people are making now is they are taking referrals for granted.
Right.
They have this assumption in their mind that if we reach out to somebody on LinkedIn, they will refer us for sure. Why? They don't know you. So people don't have the time and patience to nurture a connection these days. I get a lot of messages on LinkedIn, and the first message itself is, "Hey Kanak, saw that you're working in the industry. I just came to Canada looking for a job. Can you refer me? I just saw that this role is open." Why? I don't know you. I don't know anything about your experience. I don't know who you are. I don't know what kind of work you're doing. And if by chance you get hired after my referral and you don't do a good job,
It will backfire.
it will immediately backfire on me.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to trust my referral after that.
Right.
So as somebody who's going to refer, I have to be equally careful.
Right.
And that's when people start to think that finding a referral is difficult. Finding a referral is not difficult. Finding it the right way and then nurturing it to a point that somebody agrees to refer you, that is what's the difficult part, and that takes time.
Makes sense.
So a lot of people are not willing to invest that time. And I think another mistake that a lot of people are making is they are, I think somewhere, some years ago, somebody, I don't know who, decided to coin this term that your resume should be ATS friendly.
Right. Oh, I heard it myself.
Yeah, everybody
And
has
it
heard
is still continuing. Everybody thinks it's...
And your resume should be one pager.
Yeah.
So I am not sure where this came from. And when I came to Canada, I heard the same information. I had the same information that it should be ATS friendly. It should be one pager. But in last 5 years, this is my 5th year in Canada right now, what I have realized is, forget everything. Your resume should be relevant and valuable. As long as it's relevant and valuable, nothing can stop you. My resume right now is 4.5 pages.
Okay.
And it has not failed me in last 2.5 years.
Oh, wow.
It has not failed me at all.
I was just being stupid. I only was putting like 2-pager resumes.
Yeah.
ATS formatting, 2-pager resume, searching the keyword,
Yeah.
putting in the keyword. But yeah, I'm going to learn a lot from this episode, I think. Getting back to your profession of being a lecturer, back home we have an author. They will teach exactly what is in the textbook. But over here, there is an emphasis over practicality. What sort of education technique you use when you're teaching marketing as a subject?
I think marketing requires you to think out of the box. And I think a textbook can tell you the concepts, but how to think out of the box only comes to you again. I think a survival instinct is only what makes you think above and beyond, because now you're surviving. You have to make sure that you exist and you're just fighting for something. Right. Until and unless you start thinking of marketing like that, and I always say this, that it's literally like a war.
Right.
You are at a war with different brands, different competitors, whoever is out there, and you're fighting for that one thing, which is a customer.
Right.
A customer can be another business, a customer can be a normal consumer, but everybody is in a war and they are trying to fight for that customer. So everybody is trying to fight, and in fight, killings happen.
Right.
Someone might kill you. So you have to survive, and you need to think of different techniques to survive. So what I try to do in my classes is to keep it as practical as possible. Whatever real brands I can find, and if I can get some marketing brief for them, any challenge that they're facing, anything that they want to achieve in the next 3 months, we compile them in a brief, and I give that brief in the class to work on. We divide the class into several groups, group of 2, group of 3, anything, and they have to sit together and come up with a different strategy. And because in that time period, I don't allow anyone to use a lot of technology, so we are able to refrain certain extent of use of AI or any other piece of technology that can be used to make that strategy. So people are forced to sit and think about how to solve this challenge, because if they don't, firstly, it will affect their grade. Secondly, they won't be able to complete it. So in either case, they have to survive now, solve the challenge for a real brand, which is there in the market right now. And the challenge that brand is facing is also real time.
Right.
So that, I think, gives a very practical experience.
Are you futuristic when you're teaching, or are you on the current module, whatever you're teaching?
No, we are very futuristic when we are teaching, and the purpose is to prepare them for what's coming. They are in class right now. 6 months later, when they'll actually graduate and start working, you never know what
the market
new piece of technology is out there. And whatever new piece is going to be, it's going to be based on whatever is there in the market right now. And we have AI, we have AR, we have VR, we have wearable tech. We have so many different platforms out in the market right now. So whatever strategy we make, it has to include all the channels possible through which we can reach a consumer to achieve any goal that is there for our marketing purposes. But at the same time, not every piece of technology that's out there is practically doable in a classroom environment.
Right.
So what we try to do is we try to make a strategy. We see which one of those tools can we actually implement in class while we are in class, and which ones are left out. Whichever is left out, we find alternatives for that. But maximum tools that we can find and implement within the class environment, we do that. But first, we need a strategy. Again, the war example, that's why I say that it's a war. Before you step into a war, you have to make a strategy.
Yeah.
Where are my soldiers going to stand? What stance are they going to take? What weapons we would need? Once everything is prepared, you have all the weapons ready, everything is ready, that's when the RV marches out.
Right.
That's exactly what's marketing too. We prepare the entire strategy. These are the channels we would need. These are the kind of ads we would need. This is the kind of content we will need. We might need influencers. We source everything together, and that's when we launch that, okay, fine. These are the tools we have available now. Let's put something in market with these and see how it's working.
Yeah. Your modules that you create, is it completely that you create, or is it some guidelines given by the college that this is the requirement and this is what needs to be taught to the students?
So it's a two-way street. The university and the college helps, and then we are allowed to give our input as well. Because as much as we are relying on the university to save a little bit of our time so that we can give that time to the students, they prepare some presentations for us, but at the same time, university is relying on us because according to them, we are the experts out there,
Right.
and we are going to help them come up with a curriculum that's best suited for the students. So we help, they help, and together we make the curriculum.
In your class, do you have some students who are very, very smart, like even smarter than you, would give you more different perspective and like, yeah, this is a good point of view to see marketing?
100%. And every time I walk in a classroom, the first day of all of my classes, this is the first thing I tell them, that we are going to keep the class as conversational as possible. Because it's a class full of international students. If there are 60 students in the class from maybe 5 different places, I have a perspective from different locations, each one of them from a different age group.
Right.
Each one of them is thinking differently, and I have so many different perspectives that I can learn from. So more than this, that I am teaching them, I think the bigger motivation for me, myself, is that I will be walking out as a much learned man after that class is over.
Wow.
So if they are smarter and if they have so many opinions and perspectives, please throw them towards me. And if anything, give me criticism.
Right.
so that I can go and improve as well, so that whoever comes next in my class, I can be a better teacher to them.
Yeah.
So criticism, perspective, opinions, the more I get them, the happier I am. And I think monetary value of my profession, very important. Yes, it helps me survive. But the real growth happens through these perspectives and opinions that I get in my classroom. And they are always welcome.
Yeah. This is a sign of an excellent professor, by the way. I wish we had more professors like this, because just imagine how our life would be more easier. Because when you think of a college, it should not be a place where you don't want to go. You're going there because you want to learn.
Yeah.
But sometimes some professor will not have that openness to have that open conversation. And I'm happy that your students are able to get such an environment. Congratulations for that. You had an experience of being a student first here also, back home also.
Yeah.
What is it that you see difference in the sort of education we have in both the places?
The biggest difference in both the places is when I was in India, if I am not being responsible, the system will force me to be responsible. My teachers will be after my life that you have to submit the assignment. If you don't, there will be repercussions. Here, it's very different. Here, they expect you to be responsible. When you come in a certain level of program, postgrad, masters, anything, a university or a college, they have this expectation from you that you will have professionalism up to a certain degree, and you will continue to polish that level of professionalism and not just sit in the class just because you have been given the admission. I think a lot of students don't realize this. They come here, and because they are not used to that level of freedom in India, I'm just comparing India right now. I don't know what happens in other countries, but because they don't have this level of freedom in India in a classroom, they take it too lightly.
Right.
And that's where the first and the biggest mistake happens. You have taken it too lightly now. You're not focused on working on your assignments properly or studying for your exams properly. You are just trying to get that passing mark. You are not extracting maximum value out of your professors. And that's one of the largest resource of information and most authentic form of information standing in front of you.
Right.
And that's the most easily accessible resource as well, because the professors are getting their salaries. The university has found them for you. They have shortlisted them that they know the best. They are the experts. We are giving them to you. Extract maximum value out of them.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that. They just want the class to get over, go home, hopefully after 1 year or 2 years get their work permits, and then apply for the PR. And then sit and think one day, why are we not getting the job? You're not getting the job because those 2 years when you were supposed to skill yourself, prepare for the interviews, know what's coming for you after 2 years, you did not do that.
Right.
You just focused on getting the passing grade, focused on a part-time job that will get your bills done. That's it.
That is something that's really sad. Even I see a lot of students when I was working in the residence, which was a college environment, there would be only like 5-10% of people who are very determined to study the reason why they have come here, to fulfill the reason, right? But there would be remaining people who are here only for PR. That is sad. But also, do you think that it is a mindset that they come from when they move over here is because of the agents and the people who are already here? What sort of influence is pushing for such kind of a backdrop?
I think a very large part of it is because of the agents and whoever is guiding them before they come to Canada. Second, I think I wouldn't blame anyone for that, but nobody really likes to share their struggle with their loved ones who are especially in a very different country. They wouldn't want to tell them that, hey, we are having a struggling time here, because they don't want them to worry. So a real picture never really reaches the person who's just about to come in a different country. And of course, because Canada or any other country would want people to come here, they wouldn't really give you a 100% real picture anyways. Because if they tell you that, hey, listen, if you leave your comfortable life in India, come to Canada, you'll have to wash dishes, do part-time job, clean the house, it will scare you off.
Yeah.
It will make you think again that, am I taking the right decision? And because we don't want that decision to get shaken because of anything, the real information never really reaches. And you have a very rosy picture about what's going to happen. You're going to reach Canada. get your studies completed, get a work permit, get a PR, and the life is going to be very smooth. But what happens here comes as a shock. So yeah, a large part of it is because of the agents and whoever is guiding them. But at the same time, I think when somebody lands here and that shock comes to you, you absorb that shock, take a few days, realize what's happening around you. Again, after that moment, it's your job to become responsible, because now the real picture is in front of you. And if now you're not doing anything about it, then you can't blame anyone.
Just going back in your personal life, say you were in 11th grade or 10th grade, the person you were that time, did you have so much of exposure to life as compared to the current generation who are in 10th 11th?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Probably 1% of it. I look at 10th graders and 11th graders now, and I feel very envious of them, because the kind of resources they have, I didn't have any of those. And at the same time, as much as I feel envious of them for having these resources, the minute I see how they are using these resources, the envy goes away.
Okay.
Because it's like you have given them such powerful things in their hands. And you have heard that quote from Spider-Man, right? With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
So the great power is there. The responsibility part is still missing. And I think the same thing. They have taken a lot of things for granted right now.
Yeah. Like our generation is that perfect balance where we got that experience of living closely to the nature, understanding from basic things, and when this new technology is coming, we are easy to adapt. But for them, they don't know the beginning half.
Yeah.
They are born with this. They only know this. So they have taken things for granted.
They only know this, and they only know a certain type of use of this, because they're using it just that way. And there's a very limited number of people out of that entire crowd who is getting that guidance that you can do this extra thing with this piece of technology as well. And then out of that group, there's another very tiny little group who's actually doing something about it.
Right.
And they are growing, they are excelling in life.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think they might be doing this in 10th grade or 11th grade right now. So I would give them that benefit of doubt that it's the age.
Right.
And I don't think I was very responsible when I was in that age. I think I was one of the most irresponsible kids. So I think that benefit of doubt stays. I sometimes think about my life and I think that I wish somebody would have stopped me at one point and would have given me that guidance a little earlier, that I started getting in 2019 or 2020. If I would have gotten that in 2013 or 14 maybe, things could have happened much faster, but that still could have. I don't know how or what would have happened. But yes, I think age is one of the factors and it plays a very important role. I think as they grow up, they would eventually realize their responsibilities themselves. And I think one day somebody would be sitting somewhere like me and saying the same thing, that I wish someone would have guided me a little earlier. But I still say this, better late than never.
So currently there are so many students back home and they are still looking up to moving to Canada with the vision to achieve their goals. What is it that you would tell them that these are the things you must do before even you plan to move to Canada?
First thing, do your own research. Don't just listen to anyone and make a decision and come to Canada. Take opinions from everywhere you can, take perspectives, put everything together and then conduct your own research. It's very, very important to do that. Once you have done that, make sure that you're not coming to Canada just because you want to get out of your own country and come to Canada. Get a course, get a subject that you really like, that you're interested in. Stop thinking about this from the first day itself, that is it going to fall in my knock code or is it going to be a part of the tier that is going to get me my PR? Yeah. Don't think about that.
Skills over PR.
100%.
Yeah.
Once you have the right skill set, once you are good at what you really do, PR will follow you.
Exactly.
That's not just the only way to get a PR. And PR without a job is not going to do anything. Job without a PR can still help you. So focus on that. Don't focus on PR, don't focus on work permit. They will all follow. They are all secondary. So,
Right.
first is research. Second, I would suggest is have this shift in your mindset that I am going to go there to upskill myself, to study further if you're coming as a student, to grow myself, not just to get a PR.
Right.
While I'm doing this, I will also get a PR. That should be your mindset.
Yeah.
Thirdly, if you're coming here, keep this in mind that you will have to work very hard. Uh, if you are coming with this mindset that XYZ person will refer me or they will take care of my job, trust me, life here is very different. Your own friends would probably back out because they have to survive here.
Yeah.
They will put their own survival above yours. Keep that in your mind that when you're coming in a country like this and you're starting from scratch, it's you for yourself.
Yeah.
And then along the way, if you find people who care about you and who are standing next to you and behind you, you are lucky, feel blessed, feel very grateful, but it's you for you.
Right.
So work very hard. You will have to work very hard. If you have these three things in the right place and your heart is in the right place, it's fine. You can come here. But if any of these three things is missing, I don't suggest that person should come here.
Yeah, you said it very well, because sometimes, even if this is the message that I want to put it in words, my words just scatter all over the place. So it was really very well put. At York University, there is this program called School of Continuing Studies. Is it something that you would recommend people to pursue?
I would very strongly recommend people to pursue that course, and there are multiple reasons for that. First, it's very fast paced. It gives you 2 years worth of education within 8 to 9 months. Really. And it's because it's so fast paced, they don't rely on a lot of theory. They make sure that it's very practical. And the minute that course is over, you are ready to step out in the market and you're ready to work from the first day itself.
Okay.
Second thing is because they partner up with so many companies out there in Canada, the companies also are seeing that very broad pool of talent that is coming to York University. And they are seeing it in real time. Because they are seeing it in real time, the whole program is like a big interview process. By the time the program ends, the company know who to hire, who not to hire.
Oh, wow.
So, and because they are helping in developing that curriculum, they are already feeling confident about the candidate that this person has been trained towards what we need in our company. So it's a win-win situation for everyone.
Yeah.
The students get to complete their education in time. They get to learn equivalent to somebody who's doing a 2-year program within 9 months, eligible for work permit and PR, gets prepared for the job from the first day itself. The companies feel more confident in hiring them. I see no reason why someone should not be going for that program.
Is there any eligibility requirement if they want to enroll into that program?
They have multiple courses in School of Continuing Education, and
like is there any examples, like which kind of continuing educations, which programs do they have?
Everything: digital marketing, content marketing, business administration, human resource, accounting, advanced accounting.
Oh, wow.
They have cybersecurity, and they have new courses coming up as well, which talk about diversity, inclusion. So there's pretty much everything. You name it and they have it.
Oh, okay.
Each course will have its own eligibility criteria. So hard for me to tell you that what would be the eligibility criteria for each one of them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, if you think you are qualifying for a 2-year program somewhere, I think you would qualify for School of Continuing Education too.
Okay.
And I think because we are in times where, there was a time when people used to say a piece of paper cannot decide my future. I think that time is here. A piece of paper actually cannot decide your future.
Right.
And because a piece of paper can't do that, something is deciding your future. And I think that is your skill and the kind of work you can do. And School of Continuing Education helps you in developing that. So that when you step out, your work speaks for you. And I think nothing better than that.
Yeah. Back home during my degree college, we used to have inter-college fests. We had national level fests. So it gave us a sense where we get together, we prepare for the event, and it actually adds some skill values to us knowingly, unknowingly. But over here, do they have something like that? I did not get opportunity in my college, but do they have that in York University?
So in York University, they have a lot of networking events that they would put together. Might not necessarily be with a different university or a college, but they also understand this, that the need of the hour is for you to get a job once you graduate. And maybe connecting with another university might not do that benefit to you. So rather than focusing there, they would rather conduct more networking events so that you can talk to people who are working in the industry, who are at a level in some company that they can directly hire you. And that is connecting the employer with the university directly without you actually stepping out, buying tickets for any networking event. The university would, I think, probably like to help you in that fashion. So, but I have seen universities who have these fun activities, meeting with different universities as well, getting different perspectives as well. But I think it just all depends on what's the need of the hour.
Right.
And for international students, I think the need of the hour is to be prepared to find a job ASAP.
So, with this layoff season going on right now, it is difficult for people with experience to land a job. What would you say to students who are studying to do so that they land into the job after they are done their course?
I think what I would suggest is don't try to apply for any and every job that you see on LinkedIn. Not every job is going to hire you. If they hire you and if you're not the right fit, which they might find out later on in the probation period, because a lot of people lie in the interviews now,
Yeah.
maybe up to a certain percentage, but they would lie to get the job. And if you are not able to justify that lie within the probation or after that, you are at a risk of losing your job. So I think filter out the jobs, and you need to filter them out very smartly.
Right.
One of the things that I tell my students sometimes is that follow this very simple activity. Take a pen and paper, make a column, and in one column, write what are the skills that you have. And I'm not saying soft skills, write all the technical skills that you know you are 100% good at. That if I give you a project right now, you'll nail it. Write all those technical skills, go on LinkedIn, read job descriptions, and figure out those job roles that require these skills. If there is a job description that has 100%, great. Put that in the column of job I qualify for. If there's any job that has 80% of above of these technical skills that you have, put them in that column. See what is that 20% that you're missing out of all the skills that these jobs offer. Learn those skills. And you have that 1 year, 2 year period as a student to learn those skills slowly. Now, when you sit in an interview, lie only about the things that you know that I will learn within the first 3 months of my job. If you think you can't learn them within the 3 months as well, straight up tell the employer that I'm sorry, I don't know this skill, but I am willing to learn. Might take some time, but I will learn it.
Yeah.
Being honest is much better. And I know it might be a little hard for the world to believe in honesty is the best policy in present times, but it still is up to some extent. You be honest that I'll learn it. I don't know it right now. Say this, that this skill I know up to some extent, and within the 3 months, I'm pretty sure that I'll be 100% ready, and I'll start working on any project related to this. And all the other skills, here are the things that I have done. Secondly, when you are sitting in an interview, don't just say that I know this. Give them examples of the work that you have done. I can sit and say here right now that I know Photoshop.
Yeah.
But until and unless I show you some proof, how will you believe it?
Right.
Because I don't know Photoshop. And if I say it very confidently, if I see some terms on Google, come up with a very clever answer, I can convince you that I know Photoshop. But when you'll put me in front of a system, I cannot work on it. So tailor your resume for every job. See what skills you are missing. Lie only about the skills that you know you can learn in next 3 months. Everything else, be very honest, and then work on your job. I think it might not reduce the chances of getting laid off by a lot of extent, but up to some extent, it gives the company a reason to keep you, because now they are training you on certain skills.
Yeah.
They're investing on you, and they would want to keep their investment with them. And you are that investment and asset now.
Correct.
So the minute you become an asset for a company, that's when the chances of getting laid off are less.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. In York University, is there anything they have for recruitment, campus recruitment, something like that?
So they don't have campus recruitment as such. they have career services. So they'll help you with your resume, they'll help you prepare for interviews, they'll even tell you what are the jobs that you are the right fit for. They will help you apply to those jobs, but at the end of the day, you will have to crack the interview.
So there was a time when many years when we were not even existing, goods and services existed, but there was a system of barter where there was an exchange. And then word of mouth that, okay, this person has rice, so I can exchange this. So word of mouth began. But thousands of years ago, in the place of Mesopotamia, people gathered in together in the busy markets to trade goods. And then producers of goods would stamp their products with signature mark. And then next what happened in 1500 BC in Egypt, craftsmen started marking their products with symbols, and that was the beginning of logos. That is the beginning of branding of products. And then in Roman advertisement, they took it a step further, where merchants started to paint in the buildings and use simple slogans to attract customers. And then in 15th century, Johannes Gutenberg, he started printing press. This revolutionized marketing by making it possible to print flyers, brochures, and eventually newspapers. And eventually in 18th through 19th century, there were magazines that became popular, but then there were outdoor billboards and posters. And then after 19th century, there were computer inventions. And if you fast forward it to now, this is the internet era. Right now in 2024, we have digital marketing. The person who started barter would be surprised to see like how human have advanced so much with technology. So what are the trends that are currently in 2024 that you feel is currently booming? It would still be a thing in future?
I think the first trend that comes on top of my mind is AI. It has just begun. Even though we as users feel that AI has become very advanced, we can do so many things with it, it is still a beginning. Those who are actually creating those pieces of software, OpenAI and everything, they know that this is just a beginning and there's a lot to come. In fact, in last 1 year itself, we started with just ChatGPT where we could input text. Now we are able to make text. We are able to turn text into images. We are able to fill missing parts of an image, generative AI. And now we are also going to have text to video. We can make actual characters who can talk, a full-fledged movie that we can make just by a good script. So AI, I think, is going to stay. It's here to stay, and it's going to stay for a very long time.
Right.
What implication can it have on marketing? Now, all the examples that you gave from the history, majority of them were having some human touch in them. Right. Word of mouth, people meeting each other and we putting a logo in front of them.
Yeah.
But human presence was there. And the more technology is rising, as much as people are loving it, there's also a very big part of this audience that is becoming apprehensive of technology.
Right.
Especially since a time when we know that a data leak could happen. And since there's also this doubt that AI might be saving our information, whatever we are searching on it. So they are apprehensive of it as well. I think at the moment, we might think that digital marketing is so huge that a brand can become super successful just by digital marketing. I don't agree with that. I think we are living in a time where the lines between traditional, digital, word of mouth, everything is slowly blurring out. And if you are not creating a marketing strategy that utilizes all of these channels, I think it will become very difficult for you to be successful. Right. Digital can put you in front of people, but will they trust you? Any brand who wants to be successful in present times, they should be using all the possible channels and not just rely on digital. Digital will put you in front of people up to a certain extent, but making them trust you, that's where the challenge begins. And all that challenge would require you to use traditional word of mouth, people talking about you, and they talking about you in a very positive manner. Until and unless you can come up with a strategy that can utilize negative marketing. But if you're not doing that, you want people to talk good about you, to trust you, so that you can grow in the market. And digital alone, I don't think so. It can do that trick anymore.
Coming back to the topic of this current trends in marketing, there are three things that I wanted to understand as someone who is doing contents. The future of marketing has generative and predictive AI. Then there is hyper personalization and voice search optimization. Can you explain what these are?
So, see, starting with generative AI. Generative AI is filling the gaps. Let's say you went and you had a very nice trip to Greece, and you clicked a lot of nice pictures, but those pictures have a lot of people in the background, and the true beauty you were not really able to capture it because of the number of tourists that were present in the area at that time. You bring that picture to a generative AI, you tell that AI to remove people from your background, add certain beautiful elements that blend with the Greek architecture, and done. You have a very nice picture ready without really modifying you, but just the background and the things around you.
Right.
That's one example of generative AI. Now, how can a brand use it? Firstly, it saves them cost because now they don't have to invest on props much because generative AI, if I have let's say a brownie that I want to shoot and I don't really want to use a lot of chocolate sauce on it,
Yeah.
I would tell the AI to create an image that shows chocolate sauce falling on this brownie. So the brownie is still mine, but the chocolate sauce, I didn't have to invest on it.
Right.
The AI did the job for me. So that's generative AI, adding elements that you don't really want to invest on
Yeah.
in a picture that's majorly yours. Just changing a few elements
Yeah.
saves you investment, saves you time. You can control how it looks. So you can change the color, you can change the lighting, however you want to control it, you can, and you can have the final image ready much faster. Coming to hyper personalization, it's a blend between AI and real time data. So, what was happening earlier was, let's say you went on a brand's website, you interacted with the product, and you closed the website. Next morning, when you woke up, you opened your Gmail and you saw that you have received an email from the brand saying that, hey, you forgot to check out from your cart. That's pretty much about it. Or maybe a 10% coupon that they'll send you. Now, what's happening is they're utilizing AI and that data together because you're searching so much on ChatGPT, because AI is getting integrated pretty much into everything. They know what kind of offer will convince you to buy the product. So now you won't get an email that would just say, hey, 10% off, complete your checkout. Now, probably they'll add a couple more things that they know for a fact you like them.
Interested.
Maybe if you were interested in a mattress, they would include pillows and a blanket with it as a bundle and say that, hey, we know that you are interested in the mattress, you're a valuable customer, probably would include your name somewhere in the email, and they would say that with the mattress, we also know that you would need pillows because they have that information that you're searching for pillows somewhere else.
Right.
So they will have pillows, they will have mattress, they will have a blanket, all clubbed together with additional 10% of discount. More likely for you to buy it now.
Right.
So hyper personalization is nothing but AI combining with real time data. What was the third thing?
Voice search optimization.
Voice search optimization. So that is still not growing as fast as generative AI or hyper personalization because still a lot of people are not using voice search to actually search for things. I think it's because of our habit that we still like to take out our phone, type something on Google and see for the results. But because some people have started it, keywords that we typed on Google are now becoming a voice thing. Rather than typing them, we are saying those words. So voice search optimization is nothing but trying to optimize for the words that people are now saying instead of typing.
Okay, makes sense. Digital marketing is also viewed as something that has helped to increase the individual brand value.
By individual, you mean influencers?
Influencers.
Yeah, but look at influencers. They make their own content, but a lot of influencers also do branded content.
Right.
Right? That is a blur between traditional and digital because you're calling a human to record for you, to actually experience what you have to offer, and then giving your word of mouth to different people using a digital channel. So influencer marketing is a blur between all these channels.
Right.
It's bridging that gap.
Yeah.
Person coming in, experiencing, then going back and telling to a lot of people through digital channels, because digital can do that at a very accelerated speed. It gives you a mass reach,
Yeah.
but the human element is still there. But now AI influences are also coming out, and that is also scaring people.
Yeah.
That who to trust now,
Yeah.
who is AI and who is human, and it is becoming so realistic that everybody is moving towards creating AI content, but they're not realizing this, that people might be watching that content out of curiosity, that this is made from AI. Wow, this is something very new. But are they actually trusting it?
Yeah.
That's the question. And whoever is trying to find the answer to that question and then working towards it, they are being successful. And whoever is not, they are stagnant right now.
There was this place, I don't know if you know, Elon Musk has given internet to a very tribal community.
Yeah, I heard about it.
And it is creating more chaos than causing any help.
Yeah.
Do you know anything more about it?
I don't know the details, but I have heard about it.
Yeah, so what I heard was, so it was with the vision to connect them to the Western world or the modern world where they have technology. But the youth of that place who were connected with the nature and things like that are now drawn to this phone. They are constantly scrolling, they are watching things, they are getting addicted to pornography, and there is also another thing that they do not know to differentiate between what is right content, what
Yeah.
is wrong content. So do you think social media houses like Facebook, Instagram, they should do a little bit more in segregating and correcting the contents which are out in the platform, restricting what should be there and what should not be?
I think this should have been done very long ago.
Yeah.
That community that we are talking about right now, I think I was a part of that community in 2012. Because not even 2012, actually 2010 maybe, 10 or 9,
Yeah.
when I first made my Facebook account. And when I was watching all those things on Facebook, and before that there was Orkut.
Yeah.
So when I was watching it on Orkut and then I was watching it on Facebook, I could not differentiate what was the right content and what was wrong. And I was constantly watching those videos. So the community that we are looking at right now, we have all been at that point in some
it
point in
began,
in
yeah.
our lives. So that should have been done long ago. What they are experiencing right now, we experienced it years ago.
Right.
And because it has not been regulated and something, I mean, I'm sure they are taking measures towards it, but the measures have not been so concrete that it could avoid showing certain type of content 100%. That content is still there. People are still watching it. And the 11th graders that we were talking about,
Yeah.
they have even more exposure towards that.
Exactly.
And not just content created by people now. There's, again, AI generated content, which is difficult to track. That is also being circulated on these platforms, even though they have this news option as label as AI generated content.
Right.
Not everyone is turning it on. There's so much more that is
What
out
is
there
the
now.
use of having that, like it is AI generated? What does it do, like if it's like that also?
That's an attempt to build a little trust, right? Okay, that this is AI generated.
generated.
So you know that what is real and what is not real. But is everybody using that
I
option?
don't think so.
That's the question. So the community, what they are experiencing right now, I'm not shocked to see that they are experiencing this, because we did it too. We probably were a little less chaotic because there were people taking care of us, and this community might be lacking that resource. I'm just assuming that they might be lacking it. But if somebody is not taking care of them and they're being constantly exposed towards this, chaos is meant to happen. And I always, if anyone ever asks me this question, one thing that we could change in the past, stop social media. Even though I work in it and my entire career is built on it, I would still say this, that we should stop social media from coming into existence.
100%.
Yeah.
I cannot agree any more, because I feel like it has done more damage than giving us any better solution. Like, what has it done good? Like, our attention span has reduced. And
Yeah.
everything. People are just about being influencers right now, rather than genuinely making a difference in the society.
I'll tell you one thing. There was this thing that has recently come up on Instagram and other platforms too. New fear unlocked.
Yeah.
There's a video that would show you something, and at the end of it, somebody would say that this video has unlocked a new fear on me. people have started to become scared of things that they didn't even realize they were scared of. And that is only because of social media. Like I myself experienced this, that I saw certain videos, and at the end of that video, I would sit with a friend and I would tell that friend that I am scared of this now. I didn't realize that I'm scared of this. This is just, I'm talking about materialistic things right now, that you become scared of new materials. Talk about lifestyle. Talk about dating. People are so scared of dating now because everybody believes that everybody will cheat on them. And that is through social media.
That is so true.
That is through social media, because you're watching these videos where literally
cheating is happening like it's a norm.
It's a norm. So everybody is cheating on everybody. That is what's happening. Guys are saying girls are cheating on them. Girls are saying guys are cheating on them. And that's all over social media. Then there are food trends. Somebody would say you should not eat carbs. Someone would say you should not eat fats. Someone is saying that eat less of protein. And you are sitting and thinking, what is it that I should eat finally? Someone is saying that I have 100,000 reviews and I am the best dietitian. Someone is saying I'm the best trainer. And they all have same reviews. And once you start digging into those reviews, sometimes you will find the same people giving them reviews. And you'll realize what is happening. So I think social media can be very misleading sometimes.
There is this one thing, when you meet influencers, there are two types of influencer. One like yourself, who's very humble, easy to connect. I would not have that awkwardness that, okay, I'm speaking to an influencer with so many followers. But there would be another category of people who would be like, oh, I have 100K followers, something, and I wouldn't engage myself with someone who has less than 5K followers. And people like this exist. And I kind of feel like we are in the same world. But why is being an influencer such a big thing now?
I think when you become famous and when a lot of people start looking up to you, this can go two ways. Either you can think that you are the ruler of everything now and everybody is answerable to you. Or you can think it the other way around, that everybody knows you now and now you are answerable to everyone else. So I think when you start looking at it the other way around, that you are now answerable to everyone, you start working in a certain way that everything that you're getting in life, you are now not just justifying it to yourself that I deserve it, but now you are telling this to people as well, that, hey, see, I do such amazing job that I would like you to think too that I deserve it. Every time when I wake up with this one very thought, that I know nothing. And when I'll walk out of my door today, something new will hit me. And I will walk in at night thinking this, that I learned something new today. And next morning, I will know nothing again. At the same time, when I'm working on anything in the entire day, this one thought never leaves my mind, that I'm the best. And that doesn't mean that I'm actually the best. That just means that I'm motivating myself. And I have to prove this thought now, that my work will show the world that I am the best. If I'm not able to do it, that's okay. I'll try again next day. But at least I need to keep that thought in my mind and work towards it. While I have this thought, I also believe this, that in this moment right now, I am the best, but there is someone better than me right out there. And I can cross paths with that person at any point of time, and I won't be the best anymore. And that just proves my first thought in the morning, that I know nothing. So if I know nothing, I have no right to be arrogant about anything at all. The Brawny Boy username that I told you, account got hacked, lost everything in one moment, and I had to start from scratch again. Whatever I have right now, very grateful for it. And I think once you achieve something, it's very important to work hard while you are achieving something so that you achieve it. But it's even more important to work harder after you have achieved it, to maintain it and to grow it from that point of time. 100%. So every time I achieve anything, even a little something, even this podcast right now, if I have gotten the opportunity to be here and talk to you, this is my moment of realization that now from this moment I have to work even harder so that one day you feel like calling me back again, and maybe someone out there would feel like calling me on their podcast too.
Right.
So yeah, if somebody thinks like this, I think there's no room for arrogance or any sort of pride anymore. And if anybody chooses to be arrogant or have that pride in them, if it is working for them, great. I will again be very envious of them, but just something that I wouldn't like to do myself.
Yeah. You said about telling yourself that you're the best, right? I'm reading a book of power. A book name is Power of Subconscious Mind. And till that time, I had this feeling. Sometimes I have a very good day. Like, I feel that, yes, whatever I'm doing, it's going in sync. And sometimes I feel like, I don't know why. Like, I have this existential crisis. What am I doing in life and things like that. But in that book, it is very well said, you are a version what you say you are.
Yeah.
So if you don't consider yourself best, it's not because we are egoistically telling that we are best or better than anybody else. There is always someone who will be better than you.
Can I say something in Hindi?
Mm-hmm.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's when I was in Delhi, me and my friends used to tell this one line to each other sometimes that har Vivek Oberoi ke liye ek Salman Khan baitha hai. So in this when this I being the best concept comes in, so yeah, there might be some Salman Khan out there who might come one day and tell you that, listen, you are not the Salman Khan, you are the Vivek Oberoi, and you might have to work hard again to become Salman Khan someday. So yeah, this is one thing we used to do back in Delhi. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
So you have the Brownie Life.
The Brownie Life, yeah.
Brownie Life. And then is there any other account that you're having? Or
No,
is it just one?
The Brownie Life is the main account.
Okay.
Actually, the earlier I had the username the Brownie Boy. Brownie means macho. And I made this username the Brownie Boy because I think I'm a kid at heart. So I made the Brownie Boy. And that account got hacked a couple of years ago. So the new username I chose was the Brownie Life, the macho life essentially. And yeah, so that's my main account. And I have a couple of other handles that are linked to the Brownie Life, but that's my main channel.
And you do food blogging, lifestyle blogging, and is that the two things that you're focusing on?
So I focus on food, travel, and lifestyle.
Food, travel, and lifestyle.
Yeah.
You are living two lives. You're a professor. You're a content creator.
I'm also a marketing director
and also
at marketing agency in Toronto. So yeah.
How do you manage time?
I think time management is a skill, and I think everybody can learn that. And I think it's one of the hardest skills to learn.
Right.
But you learn it with. Have you heard this quote? Money makes money. So it's very similar to that. Time management comes with time. Right. So you just need to step out and you need to start working. You'll make a lot of mistakes. You will go off your schedule multiple times. But the minute you go off the rails, you will find a way to come back on it. And that's how you learn time management. So I'm 30 minutes late. How do I compensate those 30 minutes in my remaining day? And the minute you start doing that, eventually you will learn time management. I think, and I think the biggest credit to that goes to my decision of coming to Canada, because just like everyone back in India, I was not doing anything myself. They were my parents to take care of me. I had house help, didn't really have to do much myself. But the minute I landed in Canada, I had to manage food, the house, studies, part-time job. I had to manage everything, score well, make sure that I'm getting value out of the fees that I have paid. So managing all of that, eventually in 3 to 4 years, time management became good. Yeah. And it's not that I don't struggle even now. I still do, but same concept. I go off the rails and then I try to get back on it.
There are two things that I think about whatever you said. One is, over the period of time, living in Canada helped you get a lot of discipline, which is very difficult to get in people of our age right now. It comes, but it takes time. Yeah. But for some people, it might come earlier in their life. Some people, it would take time. For some people, it might never come at all. And what was the second thing? One was... Wait, one is discipline. It was... The other thing, wait, one is discipline. What was the time management? You were here.
You just want me to do that?
Yeah, please.
Sure.
The second thing was, it's okay to make mistakes. That was the second thing that I was trying to remember so much. Oh my God. I need to bury myself out of this embarrassment. Look.
Thank you so much for taking your time and being over here. I know you are putting multiple hats at the same time. I just wonder how, but I could never put myself in your shoes to see how you do it. But hats off to you.
Thank you.
And again, thank you so very much for coming over here and brightening our studio.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Yep. Awesome.